I hope I'm not going to – he's nodding his head, so I hope he's good to go with us. And I think we do have with us the coach of the Thomas Dale Knights, Kevin Tucker. Are you out there with us?
Yes, sir. I got a little bit of service in the area that I'm at now, so I figured I might as well log on quickly.
We appreciate it. You don't mind coming on early now, do you?
No, sir. No, sir.
Perfect.
Not at all.
Let's talk about it. Vicente Chavaria Jr., we just played his pick six. It's one of the plays of the year. It made Sports Center on the late edition Friday night into Saturday morning. You've been doing this thing for a long time, and I know you're a Dale guy through and through. What did that play mean? Because it's funny, we expect the joyous celebration. I think some of your silence was initially waiting to see, please don't let there be a flag. Does this hold? Is that what you're thinking as this thing's unfolding? We're not going to overtime. Let's see if it stands. Take me through it.
Unfortunately, last night we had quite a few whistles, inadvertent whistles. We had two on onside kicks that we recovered, inadvertent whistles. We had a flag late in the game where we had, had a big play, and just, again, like I tell the kids all the time, don't let the officiating control the outcome of the game. And our kids battled back, and we burned a timeout right there at the end. We saw how they were setting up. Our starting safety, who've been playing the last 5 weeks, Michael Bryant, who had a pick six earlier in the game, went out got a little dizzy, had a big hit, and he's got to come off for a play. So we told Vinny, hey man, you've been back there all year. You're one of our captains on the defense. Go back there and do what you do best. And Vinny playing center field, man, he went back there and made a hell of a play. And I'm watching. I'm like, please don't throw a flag. Please don't throw a flag. We had a kid on the sideline that had a chance to decleat somebody. And luckily he just put his hands up and kind of just got in the way. And Vinny did what Vinny does, man. He just made a play on the ball. And 99 yards later, the whole team was down in the end zone celebrating. And I'm looking all over the field, making sure there was no flags. It was one of the best plays that I've been a part of at Thomas Dale in the 24 years that I've been there.
Absolutely. It's going to go down in the annals. Regardless how this plays out, if you're able to go beat Oscar Smith, win a regional championship, state championship, this is something that's a memory for that kid, your program, your coaches, players, fans, and community. And just touch on that a little bit more, because I remember it also brought me back to, I'm sure you remember it in the national championship in college basketball a few years back, Jade Wright of Villanova, when Chris Jenkins hits the shot against North Carolina, he doesn't jump up and down, because you all as coaches, you're programmed to think, what's next? How do you handle things? Almost the hope for the best, but prepare for the worst, right?
Yeah, because, we were going into that last play, and I'd already told my coordinator on offense, I was like, all right, start getting your, overtime plays ready. We've got a set of plays that we usually run when we do it every week from the 10 and in, offense and defense. And, we were already getting that prepared, and they threw the ball up. And normally at that time of the game, we've kind of taught our kids to just knock the ball down. Because I've been on the other end of it where the ball gets bounced up by a defender and my guy comes down with it and we've won a game. So when Vinny went up and I was like, oh, he's going to knock it down, and he comes down with the ball and he catches it, and I'm like, oh my God, here we go. And like I said, again, just one of those magical plays that, like I said, we're glad we were on that end of it. And like I said, we loved it, and just super, super pumped to have an opportunity to be practicing on Thanksgiving and get to go against my old college roommate, Chris Scott, again.
Yeah, we'll talk about that storyline here in a second, as Kevin Tucker's Knights having a fabulous year, 10-1 on the season, winning it on the 99-yard pick six from Vinny Chavaria Jr. here, our guest on 757 Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. Before we delve in on the Oscar Smith matchup, Coach, too, and that play, if you haven't seen it, it's on Sports Center. It's all over the social media. You can find it. It's going viral.
Oh, yeah. My phone's been getting blown up this morning on it.
It's incredible. 99-yard pick six on the final play of the game. Speak on this battle with Manchester, because for years, and I know you have a ton of respect for that program from Tom Hall when he was there, now at Prince George, to Coach Jason Harrell. But you've had some battles. You've come up just short against them. To lose, I think, the last 4 or 5, as I mentioned, in the postseason. To win it the way you did after they battled back in the game, it's got to mean a ton for your kids, the ones that have been through those wars and have been chopping wood throughout the offseason and now.
Yeah, 2 years ago, they came over to our place, and, we were having a pretty magical season at that time. And, it was Ethan Minner. I guess it might have been 3 years ago now. And Ethan Minner, it was 4th and goal. Instead of kicking the field goal like a normal person would, I went for the win. We were down by 3, and like I said, the ball just got tipped and just kind of fell out of the receiver's hands. And just one of those deals where just heartbreak. And then the next year they came over and kind of handed it to us pretty good. And our kids that were on that team, Michael Davis and Danny Lewis and Michael Flowers and Cole Lineberger, they remember them coming down and playing the boombox on the TD and dancing and celebrating, and just kind of that heartbreak, that hurt. And they just one of those deals where they just a little chip on the shoulder, to speak. And for 2 weeks, we had great practices. And I think a lot of that was those seniors that had been a part of those losses for the last 3 years, wanting to get a get back. And, to go up at halftime again, 21-6. We had two onside kicks that we should have had. We should have probably been up 35-6 at half. And, came out a little flat. Manchester battles back, ties the game up. And, our kids, again, never gave up, and that's the resilience of this team. And hopefully we'll have a little bit of that magic going down to the 757 next week to play Oscar Smith.
Yeah, we'll get your take on that matchup coming up with the Tigers, defending Class 6 state champs. But let's highlight some of your youngsters that have been putting in some hard work. Certainly, Vinny is now a household name with what he accomplished, but you have a bunch of 3-year and 4-year contributors, some new faces to the lineup this year, a couple of commits like you touched on. Cole Lineberger, I believe, is going to Navy. N.J. Hines, who's committed to William & Mary. Tell us about the ones that have done it for you all year long, be it offensively, defensively, special teams, that have made their mark and helping you get these 10 wins this year.
Well, I think it starts with defense, and we're led by our senior middle linebacker Michael Davis. Mike's probably going to end up at Air Force. He's somewhat committed out there. He's kind of he's got a couple of things going for him. USC is called, and some of the other schools, and they are starting to take notice. He short season last year with an injury, and his senior year he's been balling out. Had another monster game last night. I think he had 12 or 13 tackles. He's just sideline to sideline all over the field. The front four, led by Cole Lineberger, Xavier Brown, Javaris Tucker, Marcus Bird. I mean, those four guys are just a force to be reckoned with. Jamal Nolan, the other inside linebacker, and just, again, having that type of front six allows our defense, to bring pressure. And also, with the defensive backs, stepping up last night. I mean, we were going against some great receivers last night. Dexter Richardson, had, I think, 5 pass breakups last night. Michael Bryan had an interception for a touchdown. Vinny had 2 or 3 pass breakups and an interception for a touchdown. Jeremiah Carey, another, youngster that, made 2 great plays on the ball, late in the game to prevent touchdowns. Chris Ward, the other, corner I think he's leading our team with 5 interceptions this year. So, top to bottom, that defense has just gotten it done. And the offense has finally come around to where we're putting drives together. We are, able to keep our defense fresh. We're able to go out there. We might not score every drive, but we're putting together 6, 7, 8, 9 play drives where we're giving the defense a little bit of a blow. And then Miles Tyler, being able to come in and punt, and he's averaging 45 yards a punt now, and pinning teams and flipping the field is a huge weapon. So just super proud of the whole team effort, and how well we're playing.
Certainly, as you should be. Now, I know you and Coach Chris Scott of Oscar Smith, who you mentioned, old roommates. You have a ton of respect as he does for you and what they accomplish. You brought up the methodical, putting together long, time-consuming drives. How much of going about trying to beat Oscar Smith is to try to play keep away and methodically? Give me your take on what you've seen from them on film and the matchup coming up.
So, I haven't got a lot of film because, I wanted to get over the Manchester hump, and throughout the year, we've kind of saw some things here and there from Oscar Smith. But to be honest with you, we needed to get over this first hump first. So really going to dive into the film today. What I do know about, Chris and his teams, they're always well prepared. He's got a great quarterback who can put the ball anywhere he wants to put it on the field. He's got some great receivers who they just create separation. They are matchup problems. So our defensive backs are going to have their hands full. Our front four are going to have to get after him and make Lonnie, hopefully put the ball up and make the defensive backs, give them a chance to make some plays on the ball. I think their front four is just as good as my front four. So our quarterback and our offensive line are going to have their hands full. And that's something to be said for a Chris Scott team. Their defense is going to be fast, aggressive, flying around to the football. And again, very mirror of what we do on defense is 11 hats to the football, kind of led by your front four. And if you got four guys like they do and like we do, you can afford to play, some bracket coverages and so forth, and try to give your, your defense a good pass coverage because of the front four making such great plays. So, like I said, we expect it to be a battle down there, and hopefully our offense is going to come prepared and ready to make a little noise.
Yeah, a little bit of the history between your program and theirs. We mentioned the 2009 win that happened in the state playoffs on the way to the championship under the late Vic Williams, and now the last couple times you've come up short against them. But it feels like every year now in Class 6, it's you guys, it's Manchester, it's Oscar Smith. You all kind of have that tradition and program from the summertime to now. I know you go through the Central District and they play through a tough Southeastern District, but there's not a ton of secrets when you get here to November, is there?
No, when you get to December, late, practicing on Thanksgiving, you better have a good, strong run game because you never know what the weather's going to come. And you better have a defense that's going to be able to fly to the football, make plays, and create, field position, create turnovers. And I think both of our programs have that. And I'm not trying to get ahead of ourselves, but I really feel like who comes out of our region is going to be the favorite to win the state title this year. So, like I said, I think we got our hands full. I think they got their hands full. And, at the end of the day, the winner's probably got a good shot at bringing home that trophy.
Well, congratulations to you and your kids on a job well done. A heck of a performance. That pick that will live in infamy, the pick six on the final play by Vinny Chavaria Jr. I will say, full disclosure, we didn't pick you guys to win this game. However, I'm happy for you and your kids. I took a lot of flack from some people that actually said, you've got Dale ranked too high in your top 10, as if rankings mean anything. I think at the end of the year we had you number 4 in Class 6, but you're here in the final 8 and a chance to get to the final 4 in Class 6. Go enjoy it. Have a great Thanksgiving. I know you'll enjoy practicing on Thanksgiving weekend as you get ready for the Tigers of Oscar Smith. And one more final thing. It is a 7 o'clock kick on Friday night at Beard-DeLong-Easley Field. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so it's going to be a Friday night game. Go support the Knights and the Tigers. Should be a fun one with the 804 against the 757. Thomas Dale at 10-1, visiting the defending state champion Oscar Smith Tigers at 10-1. Thank you for the time today, Coach. Enjoy your weekend. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it, bud.
You got it. That's Kevin Tucker, head football coach of the Thomas Dale Knights, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk. We'll take a timeout. We've got more coming your way. Like, share, and subscribe to CoVA Sports TV and interact with us. And we'll hear more after this from our presenting sponsors. Stay tuned.
For any athlete,